The door slammed shut behind me with a thunderous crack, echoing through the opulent foyer like a gunshot in a cathedral. My hands trembled as I gripped the steering wheel of my battered old pickup, the one I'd deliberately chosen for this charade. Rust-eaten sides, engine sputtering like an old man's cough. But inside, my blood boiled, a volcanic fury that made my vision blur with red. How dare they? My daughter, my sweet Elena, laughing along with them as they mocked me. Me, the man who'd built an empire from nothing, reduced to a punchline in their gilded cage. Look at the old fool, her fiancé's mother had sneered. Her diamond earrings glinting like knives under the chandelier. Dressed like a beggar, probably smells like one too. And Elena. She hadn't defended me. She'd giggled, her eyes averted as if ashamed. The betrayal hit like a sledgehammer to the chest, shattering the fragile trust I'd clung to. I drove away from that mansion, tires screeching on the manicured driveway, my mind a whirlwind of rage and heartbreak. This wasn't just humiliation. It was the unraveling of everything I thought I knew about family. And in that moment, as the rain began to pelt the windshield like accusatory fingers, I swore silently. They would pay. Not with violence, no, that was too crude for a man like me. With something far more devastating. Their own greed turned against them. I pulled over on the side of the rain-slicked highway, the wipers slapping rhythmically like a metronome counting down to my unraveling. My name is Victor Hale, though to them I was just Vic, the simpleton father from the sticks, scraping by on a mechanic's wage. It had all started as a test, a father's protective instinct. Elena had met Marcus at some high society gala she'd crashed while interning in the city. He was from old money, the Langfords, with their shipping empire and vacation homes scattered like confetti across Europe. When she announced their engagement after only 6 months, alarm bells rang in my head. "Dad, they're wonderful," she'd gushed over the phone. Her voice bubbly with that naive excitement I remembered from her childhood. But I knew better. Wealth like there's bred entitlement, and I wasn't about to hand over my only child to wolves without sniffing them out first. So I played the part. Traded my tailored suits for faded flannels and work boots caked in fake grease. Drove the junker instead of my Mercedes. When they invited me to their estate for a family dinner, I arrived early, hat in hand, mumbling about the long drive from my modest trailer park. The house loomed like a fortress of excess. Marble columns flanking the entrance, crystal chandeliers casting prismatic light on Persian rugs that probably cost more than most people's homes. Marcus's father, Reginald Langford, greeted me with a handshake that felt like pity, firm but brief. His eyes scanning my threadbare jacket with barely concealed disdain. "Victor, is it? Come in, come in. Elena's told us so much about you." His voice was smooth, oiled with generations of privilege, but there was an undertone of amusement, like I was the evening's entertainment. Inside, the air smelled of polished wood and expensive perfume, heavy with the scent of roasted lamb from the kitchen. Elena rushed to hug me, her designer dress whispering against my rough shirt. "Dad, you made it." Her smile was genuine, or so I thought, but her eyes flicked nervously to Marcus, who stood tall and polished, his blonde hair perfectly coiffed. The mother, Vivian, swept in like a queen, her silk gown flowing. "Oh, the father of the bride. How quaint. Do sit down. Wine. Or perhaps something simpler." Her laugh was a tinkling bell, but it cut deep. We sat in the drawing room, leather armchairs creaking under us, a fire crackling in the massive hearth. The conversation started innocently enough. Weather, the wedding plans. But as the wine flowed, the masks slipped. Reginald leaned back, cigar in hand, puffing smoke that curled like serpents. "So, Vic, Elena says you're in auto repair? Must be tough in this economy." I nodded humbly, stirring my coffee with a spoon that probably cost a fortune. "Yup, fixin' cars keeps the lights on. Ain't much, but it's honest work." Vivian exchanged a glance with Marcus, her lips curling. "Honest work. Oh, admirable. Marcus here just closed a deal worth millions. Shipping routes to Asia. You must be so proud of your daughter snagging such a catch." Elena blushed but didn't correct her. My stomach twisted. Was this what she wanted? To escape her roots. As dinner progressed, silverware clinking on fine china, servants gliding silently, the jabs grew sharper. Reginald boasted about their yacht, then turned to me. Ever been on one, Vic?
No.
Well, perhaps after the wedding we can take you out. Show you how the other half lives. Laughter erupted, Elena's included, though she covered her mouth quickly. Humiliation burned in my chest, hot and acrid like bile rising. But I smiled, playing the fool. Sounds swell. I appreciate the kindness. Inside, though, denial warred with fury. This couldn't be real. Elena loved me. She'd never let them demean me like this. Yet there she was, silent, her hand on Marcus's arm. Heartbreak clawed at me. Had I failed her? Raised her to value money over family. Resentment festered, dark and oily, seeping into my thoughts. By dessert, when Vivian whispered loudly to Reginald about upgrading Elena's wardrobe to fit in, I excused myself to the bathroom, splashing cold water on my face. Staring at my reflection in the gilded mirror, I saw not the naive father, but the real me. Victor Hale, CEO of Hale Industries, a self-made billionaire in logistics who'd outmaneuvered tycoons like the Langfords a dozen times. They'd never heard of me because I kept a low profile, but my company undercut theirs in bids, quietly eroding their empire. Back at the table, the final blow came. Marcus, emboldened by wine, leaned in. Vic, no offense, but with the wedding costs, we'll cover it all. Wouldn't want you straining that budget of yours. Elena nodded eagerly. Yeah, Dad, it's fine. That was it. The betrayal crystallized. Not just their mockery, but her complicity. As I left, hugging her goodbye, her perfume cloying, I whispered, "Love you, kid." But in my mind, plans stirred, obsessive whispers of justice. Driving home, the rain intensified, drumming on the roof like accusations. My real home wasn't a trailer. It was a sprawling estate in the hills, hidden behind gates. I parked the pickup in the garage, next to my fleet of luxury cars, and stormed inside. The house was silent, save for the tick of a grandfather clock, its pendulum swinging like a guillotine blade. I poured a scotch, the amber liquid burning my throat, fueling the fire within. Anger morphed into obsession that night. I paced the study, walls lined with books and awards I'd earned through ruthless deals. How could Elena betray me like this? Had Marcus poisoned her against me? Or was it always there, a seed of resentment from her modest upbringing? Guilt gnawed. Maybe I'd been too absent, building the business while she grew up with nannies. But no, this was on them. The Langfords, with their smug superiority, treating me like dirt because they thought I was beneath them. Fantasies flooded my mind, exposing their financial woes. I knew from industry whispers that Reginald's empire was crumbling, debts piling up from bad investments. I could accelerate that, call in favors, sabotage deals. But revenge needed to be precise, a scalpel, not a hammer. Doubt crept in. What if Elena got hurt? She was innocent, wasn't she? No, her laughter echoed in my ears, a betrayal that cut deeper than any business rivalry. By dawn, cold resolve settled. Play the long game. Pretend to be the poor father a while longer, gather intel, then strike. First, I'd dig into the Langford's secrets. A private investigator, perhaps. Or use my contacts. The suspense built in my chest, a coiled spring. Over the next weeks, the facade continued. Elena called, excited about wedding plans. Dad, the Langfords are so generous. They're flying us to Italy for the honeymoon. I forced enthusiasm. That's great, honey. I'm happy for you. But inwardly, resentment brewed. I hired a PI, discreet and efficient. Reports trickled in. Reginald's affairs, Vivian's gambling debts, Marcus's shady side deals skimming from the family business. Layers peeled back. Their perfection was a veneer overwrought. One evening at a pre-wedding brunch they hosted, me in my best suit, threadbare and ill-fitting, the tension simmered. We sat on the terrace, overlooking manicured gardens, birds chirping mockingly. Vivian prattled about designers. Reginald about stocks. Marcus pulled me aside, his breath minty. Vic, between us men, Elena's told me about your situation. If you need a loan, just say. Suppressed rage boiled. Appreciate it, son. But I'm fine. His smirk said otherwise. Elena watched, biting her lip, guilt flickering in her eyes. Or was it pity? That night, alone, moral conflict raged. Was revenge worth it? Destroying them might shatter Elena. But the humiliation replayed, fueling my obsession. I began planning. Anonymous tips to regulators about their frauds, whispers to competitors. Subtle, deniable. The slow burn intensified. At fittings and rehearsals, hints dropped. Reginald's face paling at business news, Vivian's forced smiles. They had no idea the poor father was the architect. Then a bombshell from the PI. Marcus wasn't just entitled. He was cheating on Elena. Photos of him with another woman. Timestamps recent. Heartbreak surged anew. Not for me but for her. Yet resentment twisted it. Why hadn't she seen? Was she blind or complicit in their world? I confronted the mirror again, whiskey in hand. What now, Victor? Fear mingled with resolve. Reveal it or use it as leverage. The path to vengeance forked, morally gray. As the wedding neared, tension mounted. Quiet calculations in my mind. I'd attend as the naive father, but beneath, the trap set. One wrong word and it'd spring. The wedding day dawned crisp and mocking, sunlight filtering through stained glass windows of the cathedral they'd rented. Like everything else, ostentatious and overpriced. I stood in the vestry, adjusting my rented tuxedo that hung loosely, deliberately chosen to perpetuate the image of the struggling dad. But inside, my heart pounded with a mix of cold resolve and gnawing guilt. Elena approached, radiant in her gown, veil trailing like a ghost. Dad, you look nice. Her hesitation stung, but her eyes held something new, doubt? Or was it my imagination, projecting my inner turmoil? The ceremony blurred in a haze of vows and organ music, the air thick with floral scents and whispered gossip. Marcus stood tall at the altar, his smile plastic, unaware of the photos burning a hole in my pocket. I'd decided not to show Elena yet. Timing was everything in revenge. Let them revel in their triumph first. At the reception, held in a ballroom dripping with chandeliers and gold leaf, the facade strained. Tables groaned under caviar and champagne. String quartet sawing away in the corner. Reginald clapped me on the back. His breath boozy. Vic, old boy. Quite the shindig, eh? Don't worry about the bill, we've got it. I smiled thinly. Mighty kind of you. Vivian sidled up, her gown shimmering. Yes, dear Victor. We wouldn't want you dipping into your savings. Her laugh was brittle, eyes scanning the room for admiration. Elena danced with Marcus, her laughter echoing, but when our eyes met, she faltered. Dad, everything okay? Fine, honey. Just proud. The lie tasted like ash. Inner conflict raged. Tell her now, shatter the day. Or wait, let the poison work slowly. As toasts began, suspense coiled tighter. Reginald stood, glass raised. To Elena and Marcus. May their life be as prosperous as ours. Cheers erupted, but I caught his glance at me. Pitying, superior. My turn came unexpectedly. Elena insisted. Dad, say something. I rose, hands steady despite the storm within. To my daughter. And her new family. May you find the happiness you deserve. Subtle emphasis on deserve. A hint of the vengeance brewing. Marcus nodded obliviously. Later, alone on the balcony. Cool night air brushing my face, obsession peaked. The PI's full report waited in my email. Not just Marcus's affair, but proof the Langfords were using Elena's marriage for a merger. My hidden company was their target, unknowingly. They'd researched me superficially, assuming poverty, planning to absorb Hale Industries post-wedding through manipulated deals. Betrayal deepened. This wasn't just mockery. It was calculated exploitation. Rage surged, hot and unyielding. But guilt tempered it. What if exposing them destroyed Elena's illusions? Moral grayness enveloped me. Was I the hero, or just another manipulator? I acted that night. Anonymous email to regulators. Timed leaks to the press. By morning, whispers spread. Stocks tumbling, investigations looming. The honeymoon phase shattered quickly. Elena called from Italy, voice tearful. "Dad, something's wrong. Marcus is frantic. Business troubles." Faint concern. "What happened?" "Reginald's company. Fraud allegations. They're blaming competitors." Heartbreak for her pain, but resentment for her blindness. "Come home if you need to." She did. Weeks later, the glow faded. At my trailer, a rented prop, she confessed over coffee, steam rising like confessions. "Dad, I think Marcus. He's not who I thought." Suppressed rage bubbled. "What do you mean?" Tears fell. "I found messages. Another woman." I hugged her, but inside, cold resolve hardened. Time for the reveal. Confrontation came at a family meeting they called. Desperate, in their now tarnished mansion. Reginald paced, face ashen. "We need capital. Vic, any savings?" I dropped the act. "Actually, Reginald, I have plenty." Confusion rippled. Vivian sneered. "What?" I stood taller, shedding the naive posture. "Victor Hale of Hale Industries. The competitor you've been trying to swallow." Shock rippled through the room. Marcus paled. "You what?" Lena gasped. "Dad." The truth poured out. My test, their mockery, the betrayal. "You laughed at me, Elena. Joined them." Her face crumpled. I was scared. Wanted to fit in. Reginald blustered. "This is outrageous. We'll sue." But I had the leverage. Evidence of their frauds, Marcus's infidelity. "Or we can settle quietly. Sign over controlling shares to me." Vivian whispered manipulations. "Elena, talk to him." But Elena, heartbroken, turned away. "No. You used me." The twist came then, unexpected. As papers were signed, Reginald confessed in a whisper. It was Vivian's idea. The merger, the mockery, to break you, make Elena ours. Layers revealed. Vivian's resentment from a past deal I'd won anonymously. Her obsession mirrored mine. In the end, poetic justice. I absorbed their empire, but spared total ruin for Elena's sake. She divorced Marcus, returned home, our bond mended through shared pain. Yet, as I sat in my study, empire expanded, guilt lingered. Revenge tasted bittersweet, a hollow victory. The cold resolve faded, leaving echoes of what I'd lost. Innocence, trust. But in the quiet I wondered, was it worth it? The answer, morally gray, haunted me still.